What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video, coming to you guys today with a reaction. We have recently been doing a lot of reaction videos recently, talking about or reacting to best WWE matches of previous years. We did 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, all the way up to 2023, since there isn't anything right now for 2024 as of right now. So since 2024 isn't still in effect and it hasn't concluded just yet, but when it does conclude, I will do a reaction on the best W matches. But until then, we're going to go back down memory lane, and instead of doing the best W matches, we're going to react to the worst W matches for each year. So we can all agree we've always had some good matches throughout these years. But we can also agree there's been some terrible matches that just took place, whether it was on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, a pay-per-view. It's just, and some of them were, I would say, had hype around it, but never delivered. I'll put it like that. But we're going to react to these matches. So let's see what Cultaholic deems as worst WWE matches of 2014.
2014 was one of the most pivotal years in recent WWE history. It saw the breakup of The Shield, the launch of the WWE Network, and the small matter of WrestleMania 30, which saw Daniel Bryan finally take his place as the company's top star. Oh, and something to do with some bloke called The Undertaker? Can't remember what all that was about. Not all of these changes were good, though. Brock Lesnar seized the world title in his iron grip, holding it hostage for months at a time. The women's division was in a truly dire state, and don't even get me started on those 20-minute long authority promos. So once again, we are here to break down some of the worst in-ring outings of the year, ranging from the badly booked, to the woefully worked, to the downright disappointing. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are the 10 worst WWE matches of 2014. Join us. Number 10, Brock Lesnar vs. The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30.
Yeah. The match, I would say it had hype around it, considering, like, the historic streak that was on the line with The Undertaker. But at the same time, the match didn't deliver. I think the thing is, when people look back at this match, they don't look back at it because of the in-ring quality, or people look back at it, oh, that match was so good. They don't look at it from that standpoint. They only look at it because of the moment itself, where the Undertaker's undefeated streak was broken that night. That's the only thing people really remember from that night.
The Undertaker's streak was one of the most important wrestling traditions of all time. Starting way back in 1991, the Dead Man went unbeaten at WrestleMania for 23 years, dispatching a who's who of legendary opponents. Some of these matches were fantastic, and some were against Giant Gonzalez. The streak came to an end at the hands of Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30 in a moment that stunned the crowd into silence. It was unquestionably one of the biggest match outcomes in wrestling history. It's just a shame that the bout that preceded it was utter turd. Taker got conked on the head early on, which severely inhibited his ability to walk, let alone wrestle a good match. It was a slow and clunky affair that only got interesting after the final bell had rung. Whilst fans would have loved the streak to end after an all-time classic, the reality was very different. It's hard to rank this match any higher than number 10 due to its historic nature, I guess, but man, did this one stink. Number 9, Eva Marie vs. Summer Rae on Raw.
No disrespect, bro. People are probably might hate me because of this. I mean, it's gonna be in the worst because look who's involved. It's Eva Marie. Can anybody tell me a good match that Eva Marie was in? I know we couldn't.
The Bella Twins might have picked up the Wrestling Observer's Award for Worst Feud of 2014, but a close contender was definitely the Fandango, Summer Rae, and Layla love triangle. Summer Rae had debuted as Fandango's dance partner earlier in the year, but was betrayed by the future fashion cop when he picked Layla over her. This led to a series of matches between the two, none of which were particularly thrilling. The worst of them all was actually a match that Layla wasn't even in. Summer Rae faced Eva Marie on a May episode of Raw, and the match's offense consisted mostly of shoving, hair pulling, and everyone at home contemplating their life choices. Summer looked like she was about to win when Layla and Dango appeared at the top of the stage and started kissing. This distracted Summer long enough for Eva to roll her up and finish the match. It was too short to do any real damage, clocking in at just over 2 minutes, but this contest perfectly showed the state of WWE's women's division at the time. Number 8, Titus O'Neil versus Darren Young at Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber.
This is definitely another one. I mean, they had good chemistry when they were a tag team, right? A lot of these tag teams that end up being together, they end up having good chemistry for the most part, and then when they do separate to potentially become single stars, most of the time they end up having good matches, and it helps elevate both involved. But this is a prime example of it not working. It didn't work because Titus O'Neil was never the best in the ring. Darren Young wasn't the best in the ring either. But like, if you go to his New Japan stuff currently right now, that's some of his best work right there. And I wish they would have potentially given him a bigger role to do in the WWE. Even though we knew he wasn't never going to be like that main event caliber player or anything like that, going after the world title or the WWE championship, but he could have at least been a great addition to potentially become the IC or US champion in his run. And I thought they were going to pull the trigger when he was in the company, I think in 2016 when they were doing this Make Darren Young Great Again or some gimmick when he was with Bob Backlund.
Chamber 2014 has the honor of being the final WWE pay-per-view before the introduction of the network. It also hosted a match between Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, which turned out to be less of an honor and more of a curse. O'Neil had recently turned on his fellow primetime player because he was dead weight and holding him back. That would explain why, since ditching Darren, Titus has gone on to become a 10-time WWE champion and a winner of the Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, and Money in the Bank all on the same night. There was absolutely no heat to this match, as the crowd struggled to care about the breakup of a lower card team. It didn't help that neither man was particularly electric in the ring, leaving fans feeling anything but millions of dollars by the time Titus got the win. What an advert for the WWE Network. Number 7, Nikki Bella versus AJ Lee at Survivor Series. Nikki Bella began her record-setting 301 days.
This is where that reign began, but this wasn't even a match. I remember this being a squash match. I think this is where Brie just ended up going back to Nikki. I think she just ended up kissing AJ Lee, and that distracted her for her to lose instantly. So I don't really, well, it was still bad nonetheless. I will say that, because AJ Lee was one of the best in 2014, and yeah, we're losing a fashion like this, I was never a fan of.
As Divas champion at Survivor Series 2014 when she beat AJ Lee for the gold. Did this reign begin with an all-time great match? A battle of wits and physicality, the likes of which the world had never seen before? Nope, began with a snog. Shortly after the opening bell, Nikki's sister got up on the apron to distract AJ. Brie then applied a classic Greco-Roman lip lock on Lee, which led to Nikki hitting a forearm smash and a rack attack to win the gold in 33 seconds. This match showed exactly what WWE thought of its women's division at the time. Its top prize had just been won via kiss, and now belonged to a performer who couldn't really wrestle that well or cut promos. The fact that this had happened to one of the better female workers in the company was the final straw. Number 6, Bray Wyatt versus John Cena at Extreme Rules. Snakes and ladders must be Bray Wyatt's favorite game, because he sure played it a lot throughout his WWE career. Just when it looks like he's finally hitting his stride, something happens to stop his momentum and send him right back to the beginning again. The first time this happened was at WrestleMania 30 when he lost a match to John Cena. This should have been Bray's jumping off point, but Cena's unstoppable ability to overcome the odds wasn't quite dead yet. Their feud didn't end there though, as the two faced off again 1 month later inside a steel cage. Cena dominated Bray in this match, even finding enough strength to fend off Harper and Rowan as they tried to interfere. Bray only won because he summoned a creepy child to block the cage door while singing a haunting song right into John's face. Not only did this match have a really silly ending, but it also made Bray look like a total chump. He needed serious help to beat Cena here, and whilst he technically did get the win, he didn't really look any stronger for it. Don't worry, Bray, the Firefly Funhouse is just 6 years away. Number 5.
Hit it!
They didn't elevate him
That's
to
what I'm
a level
talking
that
about.
people wanted to see
Wait.
him at because
Okay, now,
of how the match
from the
played
be-
out.
Big Show versus Eric Rowan at TLC Tables, Ladders,
this
Chairs, and
This was god awful. This was atrocious. I wouldn't even have my worst enemy watch this match. This was not it. And I think around this time, Big Show just turned heel, and realigning aligning with the Authority. Eric was a face around this time. People were there was. I don't think there was really any hype around it, and if it was very little, and it just didn't deliver. Like I think this was the one year they had that table, ladders, and chairs and stairs. Like, are you kidding me? You add stairs? For what reason was it necessary to add stairs to this? And then they got the stairs stipulation, and that was not it either.
stairs. As wrestling fans, we are always clamoring for WWE to try something new.
Yeah.
Except when that something is give two big blokes some stairs and see what happens. And that is exactly what went down at TLC, or should that be TLCS? That's right, one of the main selling points of the entire show was Big Show versus Eric Rowan in the first ever stairs match. Yay. The gimmick was pretty straightforward. Rowan and Show could hit each other as often as they liked with the various sets of steps littered around ringside. If you expected this to add something new to the match, then congratulations! You are exactly the sort of audience member WWE are looking for. You're also wrong though. Stairs have never been that dangerous in wrestling, unless you're Zach Gowen against Brock Lesnar, and fans just weren't buying this contest as anything remotely threatening. Not surprisingly, after this debacle, WWE have never done another stairs match again. Yet. Number
good.
4, El Torito versus Drew McIntyre on Raw. Drew McIntyre had to put up with some serious nonsense during his first run in WWE. A lot of this humiliation took place when he was part of 3MB, the jobber stable that somehow consisted of 2 future WWE champions. In particular, there was their feud with fellow Jobbers Deluxe Los Matadores and their mascot El Torito. Dressed head to toe in a bull costume, El Torito is probably most famous for his fantastic WLC match against Hornswoggle, but what you might not know is that he also holds a clean pinfall victory over the Scottish Psychopath. The two had a match on Raw that was mostly just Drew throwing Torito around like a ragdoll.
That this, I feel like, was the breaking point for Drew McIntyre to where he wanted his release, or if he got released, whatever the case is. And he went out and showed everybody that he ain't one of these guys that he's just going to be just somebody's just doormat and just laying down and doing all this type of crap. He went out and made a big name for himself, and he came back better than ever. And now he is in one of the biggest storylines in WWE with CM Punk. And he's going to be facing him for none other, well, inside Hell in a Cell. You get it, but I was thinking it's World Championship, but it's inside Hell in a Cell. One of the most gruesome structures in WWE history, and I'm ready for it.
However, the little bull was able to yank McIntyre off the second rope and pin him to claim victory in this bizarre encounter. Not only did Drew lose to a person half his size, but he also did so without even taking a proper wrestling move. Number 3, Naomi versus Cameron on Raw. This match is on here for one reason and one reason only, but before we get to that, let's talk about the Funkadactyl, shall we? Naomi and Cameron were introduced to the WWE universe as cheerleaders / backing dancers for Brodus Clay in 2012. The duo rarely competed during the 2 years they were together, eventually splitting apart. After the Funkadactyls were declared extinct, the pair would face off in a series of matches, including this one from a September episode of Monday Night Raw. The action was sloppy, with Cameron looking lost multiple times, but the best moment came when she hit Naomi with a leg.
This is another example. Like, a faction, not even a faction, but a team that had great chemistry, but to separately, it just didn't work. And it's not because of Naomi. Naomi was really good, and she went on to become a women's champion and a women's tag team champion. Cameron, on the other hand, really, she wasn't there, and I feel like she was still kind of very green. I think at this time you needed to kind of send her down to NXT to where she can develop her character, develop her skills, and kind of come up with something more substantial that the fans could get behind, and then maybe test her out again on the main roster for another run. And I think they tried to do that, but it just didn't work. So, yeah.
Drop and tried to pin her on her front. Cameron was screaming at the referee for not making the count, all while the crowd watched on Naomi lying face down on the mat. I guess she learned absolutely nothing from that Melina versus Alicia Fox match. Number 2, Cameron versus AJ Lee at Elimination Chamber. It's a double whammy for Cameron, or should that be double cammy? Can you tell I'm trying to procrastinate so I don't have to talk about this awful match? Despite it going less than 5 minutes, Cameron managed to mess up several spots in this Divas Championship match against AJ Lee, including a really poor Lou Thesz press. However, she wasn't actually the worst part of this bout. That would be Tamina Snuka, AJ Lee's bodyguard at the time, who must have stolen Harry Potter's invisibility cloak because the referee clearly couldn't see her. She accidentally hit AJ with a super kick and broke up a pinfall to no reaction from the official. AJ finally got DQ'd when Tamina hit Cameron with a clothesline, finally bringing this hot mess to an end. Interestingly, we were close to this match not happening at all, as it was originally meant to be Naomi facing off against Lee, but that was canned after she hurt her eye. What could have been? Number 1, the Royal Rumble match at the Royal Rumble. For the second of these countdowns in a row, we've decided
This one makes sense because the 2014 Royal Rumble was not that good, and I think the thing is, it was really the ending that people were mainly looking forward to. People wanted to. This was the year of Daniel Bryan. You know, him coming off having a loss early in the show with Bray Wyatt in that great match that they had. People were looking forward to him making his way to the Royal Rumble to be a part of this match and win to secure his opportunity to compete for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 30. We didn't get that. He didn't come out at all. And then the people who came out, people weren't given a reaction to like that. There were very few throughout this Royal Rumble that were garnering a reaction from the crowd, but the vast majority, people did not care for it. The only people that people wanted to see was Daniel Bryan. Every time people were about to have a number come out, people were getting out their seats chanting yes because they wanted to see Daniel Bryan. And when they didn't get that, it made the Royal Rumble flop in a way because he was not involved or participating in the match whatsoever. And then you have Batista be the one to do it. People did not like that decision. And the thing is, Batista was supposed to be a babyface, but because of the reaction that Daniel Bryan was getting, they had no choice but to turn him heel. So it really just changed the entire landscape of the WWE going into WrestleMania 30, because now you had to turn him heel. Now it made Daniel Bryan an even bigger babyface because he wasn't in this. We even had Rey Mysterio, who was a huge babyface, but because he was not Daniel Bryan, he got booed. And how many times do you see in the WWE where somebody like a Rey Mysterio is getting booed? Do I need to say anything else?
Decided that a traditional high point of WWE's calendar year was actually its worst match. Daniel Bryan played a huge part in both of the disastrous Rumbles of 2014 and 2015, but please don't pelt his social media with negative comments. It wasn't actually his fault, plus he'll knee your face off. Whilst D-Bry was eliminated far too early in 2015, in 2014 he didn't even make it into the match. The American Dragon's popularity was through the roof, and everyone wanted him to enter the Rumble at number 30, win it, and go on to challenge Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Instead, Rey Mysterio was the final entrant and accidentally got the biggest heat of his career. The fans didn't just turn on Rey, they turned on the Rumble itself as soon it was clear that Bryan was not showing up. The boos only got louder when they realized that part-timer Batista was going to win instead. A potentially super exciting Rumble ruined.
It had potential, and then when Roman was down to the final two, people wanted to see Roman just because nobody wanted to see Batista, and when Batista won, it just ruined the entire Royal Rumble. But that is the end of the video. Comment down below, let me know what matches do you feel were the worst of 2014 if they were on this list, and why were they the worst in your opinion. if they weren't on this list, let me know what match you deem as worst match of 2014. I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section down below. Road to 350 subscribers, but the ultimate goal is 10K. When I do hit 10K, we'll do a giveaway where I will give one of you the opportunity to win a WWE Championship from WWE Shop. So if you do win the giveaway, you will win one of those titles, so be on the lookout for that. If you want to be part of that, subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. You can always change your mind in the future. But what I was going to do that, I'm trying to give you guys daily wrestling content. The grind does not stop. But with that being said, hope everybody has a great day, a great week. Like the video, helps on the algorithm. More people can see what I'm doing here on YouTube. Super kick that like, Superman punch that post notification bell so every time I'm posting a video, reaction video, rant, video live stream, and spear that subscribe button. But with that being said, hope everybody has a great day, a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.